This is Eye of the Storm, a St. John's video series presented by NOBULL.
Johnny's, they're going to be playing in the 2025 Players Era Championship. They're going to take on, as Zach mentioned, Iowa State and Baylor next Monday and Tuesday, respectively. How do you believe, it sounds like you really feel like this non-conference tournament is going to prepare the Red Storm for conference play and what is to come ahead? This is a big test for them coming up. How do you feel like it's going to prepare them for conference play coming up?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably not going to play a team as good defensively as Iowa State again this year. At least, especially not in the regulars. In the league season, there's no one, as I think UConn's very good. UConn's not as good defensively as Iowa State. Iowa State annually is one of the best defensive teams in the country. They block shots. They really pressure the ball. They trap. Now, they're not nearly as good offensively. Like, I think St. John's matches up better with them than Alabama. Like, you know, they're getting real tests. Alabama's probably got the best backcourt St. John's will face all year. Iowa State might be the best defensive team they've faced all year. You know, later on, Kentucky, I don't know if there's a bigger team than in the country than Kentucky. Like, so these are all really good tests for them, but you want to win some. You got to win some of them, or they're gonna really depend on having to be incredible again in the conference season to get a good seed. So, like, you know, I think so. They're gonna have 6 high major games. They're 0-1 right now. To me, 3-3 puts you in a good spot. 4-2, you'd be golden, but 3-3 to me should be the goal right now. If you go 4-2, that's great, but if you can go 3-3, you know, you would have 3 quality wins, and you're in a good spot now. If you have a good league season, to really have a good seed, to me that should be the goal. And yeah, it's going to be a good test. You know, I wouldn't say the Alabama look they lost. It's a results business, you know. So, but I wouldn't say they failed that test. I just think they just didn't play. They didn't bring the kind of effort they needed to win that game. And Alabama played great. Alabama played phenomenal. Their guards made shot after shot after shot. Some of that was the St. John's defense. Some of that's Alabama's got some NBA players. So yeah, I'm very intrigued just to see how this team responds, you know, for these next series of tests, because it's big. You know, like I said, I think they're ahead of last year's team, but see, last year's team was able to, like, work through things because they didn't face this kind of schedule.
Yeah,
you know, they had the 1 and 2 trip in Bahamas, but outside of that, you know, they played Kansas State, who wasn't a very good team. That was their other high major game and non-conference game, and so, like, they had time to kind of figure things out, and they were able to get going in January. But this team is different, where they have this trip. They play Ole Miss, who's very good. They play Kentucky, who's very good. Like, they don't have as much time to kind of find themselves. So, like, this is a big week for them to kind of start to build momentum. You know, if you go 2-1 here, 3-0 you would love, but 2-1 you start to build that momentum and feel good about yourself.